So hello everyone and welcome to Career Launcher. So in today's class we are going to discuss a very important topic, and it has been very much in the news in the last few days, and that is about India getting the 45th UNESCO World Heritage Site. Now generally UNESCO World Heritage Sites are very important. They are asked in different exams. So we will discuss about this one, that is the 40th UNESCO World Heritage Site that was recently announced. Other than that, actually, we will discuss about some of the previous prominent UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We will discuss about a little bit about UNESCO as well. So let us start without wasting our time. So basically, if you have seen this news, this actually got published on 25th July 2026. And it was about, from the Ministry of Culture, which says ancient Buddhist site of Sarnath inscribed in the UNESCO World Heritage List. Okay, so that's what you should be knowing. Now, so let me remove myself. Okay, ancient Buddhist site of Sarnath was added into the 45th UNESCO World Heritage Site. So this was decided on the 48th session of World Heritage Committee. So World Heritage Committee is a committee of UNESCO. Okay, being held at Busan, South Korea. Okay, so Busan is a place in South Korea where actually this event happened, India's official nomination for 2025-2026 cycle. Okay, and this is the 45th property in to be added as UNESCO World Heritage Site. We will discuss, actually we have cultural category, natural category and mixed category also in this, and this has been actually added in cultural category. We will discuss in detail about this because this is very important. Okay, that's what you should be knowing about. Now let us move forward. So you can see this is the tweet from UNESCO, breaking news, and a new inscription on the UNESCO World Heritage List, ancient Buddhist site of Sarnath. You know, Sarnath is nothing but, actually it is in Varanasi, or what we call it as Banaras, which is in East Uttar Pradesh, and you will find a lot of sites associated with Buddhism in Sarnath. I'm sure you must be aware. Like for example, this is Chowkhandi Stupa. It is called, very famous Chowkhandi Stupa. Okay, associated with Buddhism. You can see it here. So let me first show you which is this is roughly the state of Uttar Pradesh. And here actually on the eastern side, very near to the Bihar border, right, you will find here actually what we call it as Varanasi, and here actually you'll find there's a railway station also called as Sarnath, right, and it is on the bank of Ganga river. You know this, and I'm sure you must be aware from this the Lok Sabha MP is the Prime Minister of India. PM Modi is actually the Lok Sabha MP from here. Okay, that's what you should know. And here you can see a proud moment for every Indian. Delighted that Sarnath in Uttar Pradesh has been inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List. Sarnath has a close association with Lord Buddha, whose timeless message of wisdom, compassion and harmony inspired the world. This recognition celebrates India's profound civilization and spiritual values. Okay, and this has been reposted by Mr. Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. So he is the Minister of Culture as well as Minister of Tourism. Okay, UNESCO World Heritage Site. Now you can see it here. The inscribed serial property comprises of two components. First is Chowkhandi Stupa, which I have shown you also. This is actually Chowkhandi Stupa, very famous, prominent site, I would say. So that's what you should be knowing. And the other ones, actually, if you see, are archaeological remains of Sarnath like Dhamek Stupa, Dharmajika Stupa, Mola Gandakuti Vihara, Ashokan Pillar. Okay, I'm giving you one homework. Okay, and you have to do it. There are two things in Buddhist religion. One is called as Chaityas and another is called as Vihara. Okay, and you have to write in the comments what is the difference between Chaityas and Viharas associated with Buddhism. Ashokan Pillar, very important. I'll show you also. And of course here, I'm sure you must be aware, this is the first, this is the place actually where Gautam Buddha gave his first sermon. So he gave his first sermon at Deer Park in Banaras, in Sarnath actually. And that is why that his first sermon means first religious speech, is called as turning of the wheel of the law, also known as Dharma Chakra Parivartan, and this is represented by a wheel having 8 spokes. I'm sure you must have seen that. This is actually Dharma Chakra Parivartan. We will show you. I'll discuss in today's class in the end about the 8-fold path and the 4 noble truths of Gautam Buddha ji. Okay, we will discuss about this. So first of all, let us talk about the places associated with the life of Gautam Buddha ji. Gautam Buddha ji. So this is actually roughly, I'm making this is the state of Uttar Pradesh. Okay, let me make it more clear. This is UP. This one is the state of Bihar, and somewhere here is Nepal. Okay, so first of all, let us talk about here. Actually, this is a place called as Lumbini. It is called as Lumbini, or here you will find Ashokan pillar inscription called as Rumende pillar inscription. Ashokan edict you will find, and here actually it writes that this is the place where Gautam Buddha ji was born. Gautam Buddha ji was born. Okay, and that is why actually Ashoka had reduced the taxes a little bit here. Okay, and from here we get to know that this is the place where Gautam Buddha ji was born. Now the next important thing associated with the life of Gautam Buddha ji is actually the place where he got enlightenment. So here is Patna. You can see this is the capital of Bihar. Just you go 100 kilometers south, here you will find Gaya, and attached to Gaya is a city called as Uruvela. At that time it was called as Uruvela. Now it is today called as Bodh Gaya. So in Bodh Gaya there is a very famous temple called as Mahabodhi temple. Mahabodhi temple, this is a Buddhist temple. So on the back side of the Mahabodhi temple you will find a people tree. Even it exists today also. And actually there actually just under that tree Gautam Buddha ji got enlightenment. So we use that word nirvana actually. He got nirvana or enlightenment there. The knowledge, the wisdom and the knowledge he got from the God. That's what it is. The third most prominent thing about the life of Gautam Buddha ji is somewhere here. Actually, and that is what we call it as Varanasi, actually Deer Park at Sarnath. And this is the place where he gave his first sermon. And that is called as Dhamma Chakra Parivartan. And this is represented by a wheel comprising of 8 spokes. Okay, I'm sure you must have seen it. A wheel comprising of 8 spokes. I'll show you also. You can search it, Dhamma Chakra Parivartan wheel. You will get on the internet also. And somewhere here actually, let me write it with other pen. This is somewhere here you will find a place in East Uttar Pradesh called as Kushinagar. And why this Kushinagar is important? This is the place where Gautam Buddha ji died. So it is called as Mahaparinirvan. His death is called as Mahaparinirvan. The place where he died. Why we are discussing about it? Because right now Buddhism actually or Sarnath is actually in the news, so they can ask anything with related with Gautam Buddha ji's life. Okay, that's why you should be knowing about. Now the site comprises of an assemblage of ancient monuments. Yes, we have seen sites like in Sarnath sites having pre-Mauryan architecture also, and during the Mauryan period, especially during Ashoka, we have seen Ashokan pillar and many things were erected. You know these things, है ना? So for example, these are some of the sites, archaeological remains of Sarnath. Ancient site of Sarnath was added in tentative list in 1998. Tentative means temporary list. And in January 2025, it was decided. The proposal was sent to include it into the full-fledged site. And finally, 18 months long rigorous process. Actually, in Busan in South Korea, it has been added in World Heritage Committee list, final list. That is what you should be knowing. So Busan is a place in South Korea where this meeting happened. You can see this is the 48th meeting of the assembly, or the World Heritage Assembly, where they decided. So here is actually India. This is South Korea. And the capital of South Korea, you know, is Seoul. But actually an event happened in Busan. Okay, where this was decided. Okay. Yes, here it is South Korea. This is Busan. where this event happened. Busan is actually a very famous city. It always remains in the news again and again. You must have seen a lot of things, news related to that. Now, bird's eye view of the excavated remains of Sarnath. You can see these are some of the stupas, etc. Similarly, you can see it here. If you could see, this is actually the Ashokan pillar and lion capital. So this is actually the lion capital. Yes, this is the lion capital of Ashoka. And why we are talking about it? Because we have taken this as a part of national emblem. And that's why it is very, very important. It is also from the same place of Sarnath. Now, if you see it carefully, this is our national emblem. Okay. And this is actually the Ashokan lion capital. Now, if you see it carefully, this portion has been taken. The bottom portion, this is actually called as inverted lotus. This inverted lotus has been removed while being taken in national emblem. And this, if you see it, this one, and below it actually, the inverted lotus has been removed, and here Satmev Jayate has been added. And this has been taken from Mundak Upanishad. Satmev Jayate means truth alone trumps. And Mundak, it has been taken from Mundak Upanishad, and this is written in Devanagari script. And this actually whole is called as national emblem. So some portion actually of what we call it as Ashokan lion capital, and the rest portion is actually from what we call is Mundak Upanishad. Okay, that's what you should know. Now, next thing is, if you see it, actually it is having 4 lines, but 3 is visible, 4 is on the back side. If you see, there is actually a wheel, but it is having 24 spoked wheel. On the right side is a bull, and on the left side is actually a horse. This was adopted on 26 January. So in any government document, you will find this. In currency, in passport, everywhere you will find the logo of the government of India. Now, the next is the purpose of including these heritage sites is to preserve and promote shared heritage, outstanding universal values, etc. You know this, Now, a famous Mauryan lion capital, etc., which has been taken in national emblem, Dharm Chakra Parivartan Buddha. Dharm Chakra Parivartan Buddha is having 8 wheels, 8 spoked wheels, And I'm sure you must be aware that Buddhism is actually very prominent in other countries also, like Japan, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Cambodia, Vietnam, South Korea, etc. Now, previous to that, right now we are talking about this ancient site of Buddhism added in as 45th UNESCO World Heritage Site, right? The previous one is 44th, Maratha military landscape. 44th UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay. Inclusion of Maratha forts in UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Yes, if you see it carefully. Last year, Maratha military landscape was added. Now, why we are discussing? Because it has been actually in the news. So Maratha military landscape was considered as one entity, and it was added as 44th UNESCO World Heritage Site. But the question is why we are talking about this, and the reason is actually very simple. I'll tell you why. So there are 12 forts, Maratha forts, which are considered as part of Maratha military landscape. 11 is actually in Maharashtra, and one is actually what we call it as Jingi Fort or Gingi Fort, that is actually in Tamil Nadu. Okay, and it was added last year, and we had taken actually a separate class for that also last year in all our channel, Law Interest channel, in MBA and COT channel also. Like, we had discussed these things. You can search it and you can get to know. So let us talk about Maratha military landscape. So they comprises of 12 forts: Salher, Shivneri, Lohagarh, Khanderi, Raigad, Rajgarh, many other. Sowangarh has been also in the news because of underwater museum near to it. Recently it has been inaugurated. And the most important actually is Lohagarh Fort has been in the news. And I'm sure you must be aware why Lohagarh Fort is in the news. So if you have read this article, like recently we have seen Sia Goel, Ketan Agarwal case, etc. and all, you must have read that. So that incident happened in Lohagarh Fort, and Lohagarh Fort actually is in Lonavala. It is not exactly in Pune, although they were writing Pune. So when you get a chance to go from Mumbai to Pune, one station before it, if you're traveling by any intercity express train, just one city before Pune, you will find Lonavala, very famous hill station in that area. So that is why, and there you will find this Lohagarh Fort. People travel on the top, etc. and all, and that's what you should be knowing. Let us talk about UNESCO. Since we are talking about UNESCO World Heritage Site, UNESCO stands for United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. It has 194 members and 12 associates. and non-party. So basically, and non-government or intergovernmental organizations, private sector are also members. Headquarters is in Paris, France. That is what you should be knowing. Okay, if you see it carefully, the headquarters in France, Paris, very important. Director General is Khalid Al Nani, and its parent organization is UN ECOSOC. This is important. United Nations Economic and Social Council. Now, why we are talking about it? Because everyone knows about the other principal organ. Like you must be aware of UN Security Council and UN General Assembly, but UN ECOSOC very few people know. So we have taken this class where actually we have discussed in detail about that. So now I'll give you some idea about that, about So there are 6 principal organs of United Nations. Like we have UN General Assembly, UN Security Council. So similarly, there is one called as UN Economic and Social Council. And under it, you will find WHO working, World Bank working, UNESCO working, all are actually. So the parent organization of many agencies is actually this. So UN ECOSOC is one among them. Okay, that's what you should be knowing about. Okay, this is done. Now let us talk about all the UNESCO World Heritage Sites of India. So we have 45 UNESCO World Heritage Site total right now. The 45th was recently added, ancient site of Sarnath. Now we have 37 cultural sites, 7 natural sites, and 1 mixed site. Mixed means both cultural as well as natural. So 37 cultural sites, 7 natural sites, and 1 mixed site. So if you add it, it becomes 45. Mixed site is Kanchenjunga National Park, which you will find it in the Sikkim. I'm sure you must be aware. So here is Kanchenjunga in Sikkim. This is Sikkim. And here is Kanchenjunga. And here you will find actually the 3rd highest peak of the world. So Mount Everest is the first highest. Mount Everest is higher, the first highest peak of the world. Second is somewhere here, Karakoram or K2. And the 3rd highest peak is somewhere here at Kanchenjunga. So Kanchenjunga is both, it is a mountain also, and it is both cultural as well as natural UNESCO World Heritage Site. So in cultural category, actually, if you see, recently it has been added. The ancient site of Sarnath. If you see, this is ancient site of Sarnath added in as 37th cultural heritage sites, right? That's what you should be knowing. Now, other than that, let us talk about some other ones. Just hold on for a second. Yes. So last year, Maratha military landscape was added in 2025. That was the 44th UNESCO World Heritage Site. So, of course, in cultural category, it was 36th. But in overall, it was 44th. So, like this is in cultural category, it is the 37th one. But overall, it is 45th UNESCO World Heritage Site. Because the other 8 is here, 7 is here, and 1 mix is here. And if you see it carefully, in recent years, we have not seen any addition in natural or mixed category. Mixed category 2016 and last recent one was 2012 in natural category. So in recent years, whatever the additions happen, that happen actually in cultural category. So here is 2025. In 2024, Charadev Madams, the burial ground of Ahom dynasty was added. Okay. In 2023, we have seen these two. Sacred and symbols of Hoysalas in Karnataka and Shantiniketan was added. So these things you should be knowing about because these are actually very, very important. There are others also, like you can read it. Dholavira is there. Many others, historic city of Ahmedabad, Humayun's tomb, etc. Many others are there, you can see. So cities में Jaipur city and historic city of Ahmedabad, these are very prominent. And that is what you should know. There are others also. Taj Mahal is already there, 1983, etc. and all. Okay, 1993, we had seen Ajanta caves also were added. Ellora caves added in 1993. So these were earliest one. That's what you should know. Now, let us talk about the teachings of Gautam Buddha ji. So, teachings of Gautam Buddha ji, the most important is 4 noble truths he gave, an 8-fold path. So, first he said 4 noble truths. He said that there is pain everywhere, pain, dissatisfaction, suffering everywhere. And he said that there is a reason for suffering. And the reason for the suffering is actually craving, unlimited desire, what he said. And he said that, of course, there can be, and we can actually end that. So the to end or to ensure that there should not be any suffering, we have to control our desire. Eliminate the controlling the desire was actually the idea he gave. And he said to how we can control our desire. So he said follow the eightfold path. So 4 noble truths is related with follow the eightfold path. And that eightfold path is represented like this. I'm sure you must have seen that dharma wheel or dhamma chakra parivartan wheel. The 8 spokes are there, right? So what it says, so by basically right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. So basically, in short, I have remembered like this. What we can say, right conduct, speech, thinking, ability, belief, effort, contemplation, livelihood. Right conduct, right speech, right thinking, right ability, right belief, right effort, right contemplation, right livelihood. So that is what I have remembered. So just have an idea. I don't think they will ask each and everything, but just a basic idea about eightfold part of Gautam Buddha ji's life is very, very important. Okay, so this is all about today's channel class. Please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, share this video. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.